Did
Today
it?
at Manchester Theatres, it is my pleasure to be joined by Oliver Hoare, who is currently touring with the Kinks musical Sunny Afternoon, and it's coming to the Palace Theatre from the 11th of October. Now, Oliver has appeared across stage and screen in numerous productions, including A Christmas Carol, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, The Beggar's Opera, Romeo and Juliet, Casualty, People Just Do Nothing. The list goes on and on. So, Oliver, thank you so much for joining us today to talk Sunny Afternoon. And it is a sunny afternoon as well. Perfect.
Is it?
Well, it is,
Yeah,
yeah. You can't really tell, can you?
I
Bless you.
can't tell. I think it looks like it could be from up there.
So tell us all about the idea behind this show. It follows the highs, the lows, the magic of the Kinks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's about the lovely. It's a story of two working class boys who are four boys, two brothers who put together a band that took over the world briefly, and it's essentially at the heart core of it is about brothers and sibling, that powerful sibling bond. Um, yeah, and yeah, it touches on mental health and it touches on and it's got some of the greatest British songs ever written.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, it's cool.
And it follows their kind of story, doesn't it? So it's not a made up script. I mean, obviously there'll be made up bits, but the premise
Yeah,
of it is that it does follow their musical journey. So it's not where songs are kind of shoehorned in, that they are the songs that make up their story.
exactly. Ray Davies wrote in a very autobiographical way, and I think you could probably make several musicals out of his back catalogue. The way that he write, I mean, when you see it, it looks as though and it sounds as though songs have been written specifically for this show, but they're word for word his songs. They just lent themselves to a narrative. And it's all it's obviously a version of events. It's Ray's version of events, like everything. Um, but yeah, it's true. It's a true story. Yeah,
And I think that's probably why they were so successful, because the songs were authentic, weren't they? They weren't like, oh, let's write a song about heartache, or let's write a song about love, or this or that. They were just authentically these people writing what they knew.
mm. Yeah. They loved writing about the minutiae and the sort of the day to day. They turned sort of found magic in a cup of tea. Ray wrote songs for people, and Dave often talked about the Kinks being for people. They're for lovers and for yeah, because they were real. They're genuine, and they still are. They've still got Dave. He's got a wonderfully genuine quality to him that you um yeah. So the show kind of pays a lot of respect to that. We try to keep it very grounded and about us, and touring this across the country will be just a joy as well because it's for people.
Mm.
Sounds pretty basic, but it's for people. But yeah, it's for people down the street, your next door
Yeah.
neighbor and your common man.
And you were playing Dave Davis, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah. So tell us, because he has got quite the story. So tell us a little bit about Dave Davis.
Dave is a he lives in the present. He drinks in his life. He's taken every moment as I think people look to people like Dave as like a bit of a guiding star of how they would like to grab seize the day. Dave Davis became famous for obviously partying and being has got some pretty hairy stories that follow him around, but also in his core, he's a very spiritual and loving person, and I think that comes out in the music. And he sort of created a sound,
Mm.
from tying his connecting his amps together and cutting up his amps and creating this raw sound that sort of birthed heavy metal. Really, he was a kind of a little musical scientist.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, on top of that, he's spiritual and loving. So he's got he's a wild and beautiful man.
Yeah, because wasn't it him who kind of gave us like the power chord and distortion and
Yes, they created sort of that punk sound that no one had heard before. By cutting up the amps and putting. He nearly killed himself at one point, electrocuted himself by connecting amps to amps to amps to amps, and um, in his house in Muswell Hill as a boy, and yeah, they created that sound. Broken, dirty, distorted pop music. Yeah.
So when you're playing a real person as opposed to playing a fictional character or something, does that alter your approach as a performer?
Yes, definitely. You have to pay respect to the real person. It is a version of a person's life, so that's an interesting thing, and it's a version. It's his brother's version of his life, so that's very sensitive. Obviously, we know the the kind of relationship that they've had over the years. It's been on and off, and times very fractured. So playing someone, yeah, it's a heavy-ish thing. But I had a real privilege of meeting Dave, and when we did it, and he came to see it, and that sort of cured all of those anxieties because, yeah, playing a real person to the person in the room is a pretty scary experience initially, yeah. But
Yeah.
he again, he's very giving. He didn't have to be as giving and as loving as he was about it. So yeah, it's absolute privilege is what it is.
Yeah,
The real privilege.
I can
Mm.
imagine. I can imagine. And they were known, as you've said, the house that they grew up in. It was very musical. There would be parties. Is that the parents, Ray and Dave's parents, were musical, and that's
Yeah.
kind of influenced how they went onto their path. And you write music as well, don't you?
Yes, I
Um,
do. Yeah.
yeah. So, what about you? How did you end up on that path? How did you get started?
Well, beautiful, lovely, loving parents who well, my dad had a guitar and was always moving rooms. Didn't really play it very much, but he used to play the Grand Prix theme tune. But that's actually the Fleetwood Mac's chain was done da da dum da 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 dum. And me and my brother just thought if we can play that before we die, then that'll be a life well spent. So we learnt that, and that wasn't enough. So we just kept going and going and going. And me and my brother, we joined bands and found that all you needed was three chords, and you can write an endless array of your own music. And that it was a hobby. It was a beautiful hobby. And I think that's how it starts for everybody. It's like writing a diary. It's good for your mental health, and eventually it turns to something that you might be quite good at, and you just think keep doing it. And I was supported to do that.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's yeah. And I
Yeah.
had a creative family as well. My dad's an illustrator, my mum was an artist and an art teacher, so that helps as well.
Yeah, definitely. And for the Davies brothers, it went on to create these songs that are just timeless. I mean, obviously the titular one, "Sunny Afternoon," "You
Hmm.
Really Got Me," "Lola," "Waterloo Sunset." I mean, I'm kind of guessing, like you've already said, it's a privilege, but to play these songs, I'll be a part of this night after night. I'm guessing like that kind of whoa never fades away. It doesn't kind of ever just become second nature.
No, the songs are so good. We've done them so many times, and honestly, I've never got sick of them.
Mm.
I think it's like obviously testament to the songs. Obviously, Waterloo Sunset's my favorite song of all time anyway. Obviously, it's been enhanced through doing this, but I think it just is one of the greatest British songs ever. But it's also testament to the way that I think the sound design and Elliot Ware, our musical supervisor, he's not happy until it sounds exquisite. It sounds exactly like it should. And we play it loud as well. I don't know. It might be just barely legal. The sort of volume that we go for. I think. I'm not sure who's testing it, but it's pretty loud. So yeah, it's impossible not to love it. Really, it
Yeah.
helps that I just love the music anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well as being known for the music, as you've kind of touched on, they did become known as well for the kind of turbulent relationship that they had that very often spilled into fights on stage. And I think Dave was actually hospitalized once after a fight with the drummer, was he?
Yeah,
Yeah. So there's
yeah,
different versions of what happened with that. But do you kind of get to, when you're doing this on stage, um, how does that kind of impact you, kind of having to get all this like every night?
yeah. Well, the music. I mean, with the fight that we do, that's the famous fight in Cardiff. It's really cool. Without giving away, too much. It happens in the show. But it happens to the backdrop of All Day and All of the Night, um, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? These songs that were just full of angst and full of like fury and full of joy. So the two things are happening at once.
Yeah.
It's violent, but it's also like wildly fun. Um, and I think the audience sort of feel this strange mix of elation and sort of fear, you know, um, which which is what any good gig should give you. They know what that means.
Yeah. And you seem fairly like a fairly relaxed, kind of chilled vibe about you. But when you're on stage, you've got the adrenaline of performing anyway. And then Dave Davies is quite an adrenaline fueled character. Um, how do you kind of keep yourself in your, in a good headspace when, and calm yourself down sort of when you come off stage?
Well, I don't ever get to. It's adrenaline, isn't it? It's
Mm,
adrenaline, and I guess it's like playing any sport, really. It's like afterwards, you just feel, if it's gone well, then you've listened well and you've reacted well, and the music carries you. It's like getting on a really good roller coaster. So you don't have to like get yourself into this big state. It does it for you. It lifts you, and um, yeah, coming up afterwards, yeah, you'd have to just go for a nice pint in a local pub with your castmates.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's good.
And for anyone who, like younger audiences who don't maybe know the Kinks or haven't quite learnt their music, they don't need to, do they? They can learn all about it in this show. You don't need to be a Kinks fan to come along.
No, you don't. And if anything, I would just love people who don't know them to come
Mm.
and be won over by them. Um, Young audiences just come along. This music inspired the bands that you listen to today. Without the Kinks, we wouldn't have so many bands that we love today. Yeah, this is obviously for people who. It's great to play this music to people who were there for it the first time around. That's a privilege. They relive their youth and they relive some of the best times of their life. But bring the next generation along with you because um, it's for them as well. It's unfortunately sometimes history has a habit of repeating itself, and there's lots of themes in this show that are relevant today,
Mhm.
for good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And keep the music alive as well. Not that it's going anywhere, but
Yeah,
yeah, like just get a whole new bunch of people knowing about it.
yeah,
Um, Well, I, for one, cannot wait. I have been brought up correctly, so my parents have taught me about the music. So yeah, I love it, and I cannot wait to come along and listen to it in the way it was probably intended as well.
yeah, yes, absolutely. I think that like sometimes we play it so much that we sort of think, I think we might be the Kinks, and we have to realize we're not. Come down off our high horse. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's good. And the guys that were playing with Zach on as Mick and Harry, Pete, and Danny, they're just great. They're great musicians, and the whole cast. There's some phenomenal musicianship that happens, and yeah, we do our best to do the Kinks justice.
Yeah.
Who knows
Well,
if we do? I think we do.
Well, it is kind of touring and selling out, and it's won multiple awards, so I'm pretty certain that you do it justice.
Great.
So thank you so much for your time today.
No
Yeah,
problem.
I was already excited, and now I'm even more so for this musical to come sunny afternoon at the Palace Theatre from the 11th of October. Oliver, thank
Don't
you.
miss it. Come along.
Come along. Thank you so much, and we'll see you really soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
How do we look?
You look kinky.
Kinky.
Kinks!